In the remote waters of Micronesia, off the island of Pohnpei, a mysterious city rises from the sea. Built from massive basalt stones and surrounded by coral-lined canals, Nan Madol has baffled archaeologists for over a century. Who built it? How? And why? Join us as we uncover one of the Pacific's greatest enigmas, where history, legend, and unanswered questions collide. This ancient city, often referred to as the Venice of the Pacific, presents an extraordinary spectacle, a sprawling complex of artificial islets, stone platforms, and towering walls, seemingly rising directly from the shallow waters of the reef. It is a place where the ambition of humankind and the raw power of nature have engaged in a silent dialogue for centuries, leaving behind a legacy etched in colossal stones and whispered legends, a testament to a forgotten maritime power. The sheer scale of Nan Madol's construction is, even by modern standards, a monumental achievement. The city is not built upon a natural landform, but rather upon more than 90 artificial islets, meticulously constructed from colossal basalt logs and coral fill, interconnected by a network of canals. Imagine the immense labor involved quarrying, transporting, and expertly placing these massive stones to create stable foundations in the watery embrace of the lagoon. This was not the work of a small transient community, but rather a sophisticated, organized society, capable of marshaling significant resources and manpower over an extended period, transforming their aquatic environment into a formidable ceremonial and residential center, a feat of engineering that continues to astound. The materials themselves speak volumes of the ingenuity and determination of the city's builders. The primary construction element is prismatic basalt, enormous columns of dark, heavy volcanic rock, some naturally shaped by geological processes, others seemingly worked by human hands. These basalt logs, many weighing several tons, with some extraordinary examples exceeding 50 tons, were transported from quarries located on the opposite side of Pohnpei Island. The logistical challenges of moving such immense burdens across rugged terrain, and then presumably by raft across open water to the construction site, are staggering. The precision with which these colossal stones were then stacked to form walls, tombs, and ceremonial platforms demonstrates a profound understanding of engineering principles, a mastery of materials that leaves observers in awe. Yet, herein lies one of Nan Madol's most profound and enduring mysteries. The exact methods by which these ancient builders quarried, transported, and erected these colossal basalt columns remain largely undeciphered. Local oral traditions speak of powerful magic, of stones flying into place at the command of twin sorcerers, or of giants lending their strength to the monumental task. While such legends offer a captivating narrative, the pragmatic scientific explanation for these incredible feats of engineering eludes definitive answers. The absence of written records from the storytellers dynasty, the rulers credited with Nan Madol's construction, means that the precise techniques employed are lost to time, leaving archaeologists and historians to piece together clues from the silent stones themselves, a puzzle that continues to challenge our understanding of ancient technology. The architects of this astonishing city on water are believed to be the storytellers dynasty, a line of foreign rulers who established their dominion over the island of Pohnpei for several centuries, perhaps from around the 12th or 13th century until their overthrow in the early 17th century. These powerful chiefs, whose origins remain somewhat obscure, centralized political and religious authority at Nan Madol, transforming it into the ceremonial and administrative heart of their burgeoning kingdom. The sheer grandeur of the construction suggests a society with a rigidly hierarchical structure, capable of commanding vast labor forces and resources, intent on creating a capital that would reflect their divine authority and unassailable power, a statement in stone of their dominance over the island and its people. Local Pohnpeian legends and rich oral traditions offer vivid, though often fantastical, accounts of Nan Madol's creation and the reign of the storytellers. Stories tell of Olasopa and Olasipa, twin sorcerer brothers who arrived by canoe and, using potent magic, levitated the massive basalt stones into place to build the city. These narratives don't provide literal engineering blueprints, but do convey the awe and perhaps even fear that the construction of Nan Madol inspired in the local population. They speak of the storytellers rulers, growing increasingly tyrannical over time, leading to their eventual downfall at the hands of Isokelekel, a mythical hero who invaded Nan Madol, ending their reign and ushering in a new era for Pohnpei, leaving the great stone city to gradually fall into disuse. The precise purpose of Nan Madol's myriad structures continues to be a subject of scholarly debate and ongoing archaeological investigation. It is widely accepted as a significant ceremonial and religious center, with specific islets dedicated to rituals, priestly residences, and mortuary practices, including elaborate tombs for the storyteller elite. It also undoubtedly served as the paramount political and residential hub for the ruling dynasty and their extensive retinues. The strategic location on the reef surrounded by water might also suggest a defensive aspect, though its primary function appears to have been more deeply rooted in expressions of power, social control, and sacred observance, a microcosm of the storyteller worldview, rendered in enduring stone and coral. Today, Nan Madol stands as a hauntingly beautiful ruin, its massive basalt walls slowly surrendering to the relentless embrace of the tropical vegetation and the encroaching sea. The passage of centuries, combined with the humid climate and the ever-present ocean, has taken its toll on these magnificent structures, posing significant challenges for their preservation. Yet, the site retains an undeniable spiritual power, a palpable sense of history and profound mystery. Efforts are ongoing to better understand, conserve, and protect this UNESCO World Heritage Site, ensuring that the whispers of the storyteller dynasty and the silent testimony of their colossal stone city continue to inspire wonder and curiosity for generations yet to come, a unique window into a remarkable chapter of Pacific Island. What if an ancient, advanced civilization once sank beneath the Indian Ocean, leaving behind only myths, scattered theories, and a name? Lemuria. Join us as we explore the origins of this lost kingdom, not to prove it existed, but to understand why the legend still captivates imaginations today. Our journey begins as we set sail and head across the Indian Ocean, a body of water that has witnessed the rise and fall of empires and cradled countless secrets within its deep blue embrace. Here, beneath the restless surface, lies the legend of a lost world, a name that resonates with both romantic allure and scientific debate: Lemuria. We venture into these sun-dappled waters, not in search of buried treasure in the conventional sense, but to uncover the layers of a story, a grand hypothesis of a continent swallowed by time and tide, a phantom landmass that continues to spark fierce debate and ignite the flames of human imagination across the globe, compelling us to ask, what truths, if any, lie hidden beneath these waves? This fabled Lemuria, as the narrative unfolds, was no mere island, but a colossal continent, a vast bridge of land said to have once majestically spanned the ocean, connecting the distant shores of India, the unique island of Madagascar, and the diverse archipelagos of Southeast Asia. Imagine such a land bridge, teeming with life, facilitating the migration of species, a corridor for ancient peoples, and a cradle for a unique, now vanished civilization. The very concept challenges our understanding of prehistoric geography and the dispersal of life across our planet. The implications of such a connection are profound, offering potential explanations for puzzling biological distributions and shared cultural motifs found across these now widely separated regions, a tantalizing prospect for those seeking a unified origin for disparate phenomena. The allure of Lemuria, this ghost continent, has proven irresistible, capturing the fervent imaginations of a diverse array of individuals, from dedicated scientific theorists in the 19th century attempting to explain zoological anomalies, to intrepid explorers dreaming of discovering its submerged ruins, and esoteric philosophers who envisioned it as the cradle of an advanced ancient race. For generations, the idea of this sunken paradise has been a powerful magnet, drawing thinkers and adventurers alike into its enigmatic orbit. It speaks to a deep-seated human fascination with lost worlds, with golden ages tragically cut short, and the enduring hope that somewhere, evidence of such a wondrous past might yet be found, offering a glimpse into a chapter of Earth's history that has been tragically erased from common knowledge. The genesis of the Lemuria theory is, perhaps surprisingly, rooted in the scientific observations of the 19th century, long before it became a staple of more mystical narratives. Zoologists, puzzled by the presence of lemur species and other similar fauna in India, Madagascar, and parts of Southeast Asia, regions separated by vast stretches of ocean, proposed the existence of a former land bridge to explain these biological connections. It was a hypothesis born from the careful study of the natural world, an attempt to reconcile observed patterns with the known geological understanding of the time. Though plate tectonics later offered alternative explanations for these distributions, the initial seed of Lemuria, sown in the fertile ground of scientific inquiry, had already taken root, destined to blossom into a far more elaborate and enduring legend. While the scientific basis for a physical Lemurian continent has largely receded in the face of modern geology, the idea itself has found fertile ground in the cultural narratives of various peoples dwelling around the Indian Ocean basin. In some Tamil traditions, there are ancient legends of Kumari Kandam, a vast landmass south of India, believed to have been lost to the sea in a series of cataclysmic events. These stories speak of advanced civilizations and a rich cultural heritage swallowed by the waves. These echo the broader themes associated with Lemuria. Such tales, passed down through oral histories and ancient texts, demonstrate how the concept of a lost homeland, a submerged ancestral realm, resonates deeply within the collective memory of diverse cultures, independent of Western theorizing. Modern science, with its rigorous demand for empirical evidence and its ever-deepening understanding of plate tectonics and geological time, presents a formidable challenge to the notion of a recently sunken continent of Lemurian proportions in the Indian Ocean. The Earth's crust, we now know, is a dynamic mosaic of shifting plates, and while landmasses do rise and fall over geological eons, the sudden disappearance of such a vast continent in relatively recent prehistory lacks substantial geological support. The immense pressures and depths of the ocean are formidable guardians of their secrets, and thus far, sonar mapping and deep-sea exploration have not revealed the kinds of widespread, shallow continental remnants that would unequivocally point to a lost land like Lemuria, leaving the legend largely in the realm of speculation. Despite the formidable scientific skepticism, the allure of finding tangible proof of Lemuria, or at least of extensive, now submerged ancient coastal habitations in the region, continues to fuel some speculative inquiry and fringe archaeological interest. Occasionally, unusual underwater formations or isolated archaeological finds in coastal areas are tentatively linked by proponents to this grand overarching narrative of a lost civilization. However, interpreting such discoveries is fraught with complexity. Distinguishing between naturally occurring geological features and man-made structures submerged by localized sea level rise over millennia is a challenging task. The line between diligent investigation of genuine, albeit perhaps more modest, submerged sites and the quest for a mythical supercontinent often becomes blurred in the popular imagination. Ultimately, whether Lemuria existed as a physical landmass connecting continents or remains purely a product of 19th century scientific hypothesis, later embellished by myth, its power as a story is undeniable. It embodies humanity's enduring yearning for connection to a remote, perhaps more enlightened past, and our fascination with the profound mysteries that the deep ocean continues to hold. The legend of Lemuria reminds us just how vast Earth's history is, and how powerfully human imagination rises to meet the unknown. Whether a lost continent or a myth woven from science and story, Lemuria remains one of the Indian Ocean's most haunting enigmas. What do you think lies beneath the waves? Let us know in the comments below. Beneath the waves off India's western coast, ancient stones rest in silence, echoes of a city long thought to exist only in myth. Welcome to the search for Dwarka, the legendary sunken city of Krishna, where archaeology and epic tradition collide. Could these ruins reshape what we know about India's ancient past? Dive with us into one of the most tantalizing underwater mysteries of our time. For millennia, Dwarka has lived in scriptures and epic poems, a symbol of splendor, righteousness, and divine power. The ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata, and sacred texts like the Haravamsha and the Puranas paint vivid pictures of Dwarka. They describe it as a meticulously planned city, fortified and opulent, built on land reclaimed from the sea, at Krishna's command. It was portrayed as a city of immense wealth and beauty, with wide streets, grand palaces, and towering gateways, a beacon of dharma and prosperity. These texts also narrate its tragic end. Following a curse and internecine conflict, the glorious city was said to have been reclaimed by the ocean, swallowed by the waves shortly after Lord Krishna's departure from the earthly realm. A poignant tale of grandeur, lost to the depths. For centuries, the story of Dwarka's submergence was largely considered myth, a powerful metaphor within a rich spiritual tradition. However, in the latter half of the 20th century, and more intensively in recent decades, marine archaeological explorations off the coast near the modern town of Dwarka have yielded astonishing finds. Initial surveys revealed submerged stone structures, patterned layouts, and ancient artifacts, hinting that the legendary city might be more than just a figment of poetic imagination. The thrill of such a possibility is immense, for it suggests that a cornerstone of Indian cultural heritage could have a tangible, historical basis, waiting to be rediscovered beneath the protective embrace of the sea. The implications of confirming these underwater ruins as the Dwarka of legend are truly monumental. It would provide concrete archaeological evidence for events and timelines described in ancient texts, potentially pushing back the dates for sophisticated urban settlements in this region by thousands of years. Such a discovery would not only validate deeply held cultural and religious beliefs, but also offer invaluable insights into the maritime capabilities, architectural skills, and societal structures of a hitherto little understood period of Indian antiquity. The quest to uncover Dwarka is thus more than an archaeological dig. It is a journey to connect with a foundational story of Indian civilization. The methodical work of marine archaeologists in the waters off Dwarka has begun to paint a compelling picture of a substantial ancient settlement. Sonar surveys have mapped out extensive areas, displaying well-defined foundations, remnants of stone walls, and grid-like patterns indicative of planned urban development. Some of these structures lie at depths of up to 40 meters, suggesting a significant change in sea level or land subsidence since their construction. The sheer scale of the submerged site is impressive, pointing towards a settlement of considerable size and importance, far beyond a mere collection of scattered fishing hamlets. These are the silent stones of a lost era. Among the artifacts painstakingly recovered from the seabed are pieces of pottery, some bearing inscriptions in ancient scripts, stone anchors of various designs, beads crafted from semi-precious stones, and tools made of metal and shell. These objects offer precious clues to the daily lives of the city's inhabitants, their trade connections, and their technological prowess. Radiocarbon dating of some of these artifacts, as well as thermoluminescence dating of pottery, has yielded dates that place the settlement firmly in ancient times, with some estimates suggesting an age that aligns intriguingly with the traditional time frame associated with Lord Krishna and the events of the Mahabharata. Each recovered fragment adds another piece to this complex historical puzzle. The challenges of underwater archaeology in this region are considerable, Strong currents, variable visibility, and the sheer depth of the site make excavation and documentation a slow and arduous process. Divers work meticulously, battling the elements to carefully uncover, record, and retrieve evidence from the seabed. Each dive is a mission into the past, requiring immense skill and patience. The marine environment, while preserving some materials remarkably well, also works to conceal and erode, making the task of interpretation all the more demanding. Yet, the tantalizing prospect of unveiling a city of such legendary stature fuels the perseverance of these dedicated researchers. If these submerged structures are indeed confirmed as the legendary Dwarka, the discovery would resonate far beyond the academic world. It would be a profound affirmation of cultural memory, a tangible link to a golden age described in scriptures that have shaped the spiritual landscape of India for millennia. It would stand as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of ancient peoples, their ability to build magnificent cities and thrive in coastal environments. The sunken city off Gujarat's coast, whether it is the Dwarka of Krishna or another significant ancient port, holds the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of India's rich and very distant past, a chapter of human history long hidden beneath the waves.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Ned, and until next time, stay curious and stay current.
Imagine an island that appeared on maps for over a century, charted, named, and accepted as real, only to vanish without a trace. Welcome to the curious case of Sandy Island, a phantom land once placed in the Coral Sea between Australia and New Caledonia. Was it a cartographic error, a sailor's tall tale, or something stranger? Let's unravel one of modern mapping's most puzzling disappearances. For many years, it was a steadfast feature on nautical charts and world atlases, a pinprick of land in a lonely stretch of ocean. Mariners would have noted its presence, perhaps even sought its shores for refuge or as a navigational marker. It was, by all accounts, a documented piece of our world, its existence vouched for by the meticulous craft of mapmakers, a testament to humanity's quest to chart every corner of our planet. The location itself is intriguing, nestled within a region of complex currents and scattered reefs. Had it truly existed, Sandy Island would have been a solitary outpost, perhaps a haven for seabirds, or a low-lying sandy cay, a product of millennia of coral accumulation and oceanic deposition. One can only imagine the discussions amongst cartographers of old, debating its exact size and shape, relying on perhaps fleeting glimpses or second-hand accounts. The very name, Sandy Island, conjures images of a transient, ephemeral landform, yet its persistence on maps suggested something more substantial, something undeniably present in this remote stretch of water. For over a century, this enigmatic isle held its place in the annals of geography. It appeared in prestigious publications, including the British Admiralty charts, bastions of maritime accuracy, and even found its way onto digital databases in more recent times. Generations of sailors and scholars accepted its existence, a tiny speck of certainty in the ever-shifting, often perilous marine environment. The trust placed in these documents was, and often still is, immense. They are the guides through unseen depths, the assurance of safe passage. Sandy Island was part of this trusted tapestry of geographical knowledge, a landmark as real, on paper at least, as any other Pacific atoll or volcanic peak, a silent witness to the passing ships and changing tides. The question then arises, how could such an entity endure for so long in the cartographic record if it were mere fiction? Was it a recurring error, copied faithfully from one map to another, a ghost in the cartographic machine? Or perhaps a misidentification of a floating pumice raft, a temporary island born of volcanic activity, mistaken for solid ground? The persistence of Sandy Island, even as surveying techniques became more sophisticated, adds another layer to its mystique. Sandy Island remains a curious footnote in the history of exploration, a cartographic ghost that reminds us, even in our age of satellites and certainty, the world still finds ways to surprise us. Illusions linger, mysteries endure, and every blank space on the map holds the promise of a story. What do you think happened to Sandy Island? Let me know in the comments below. Then came the age of precision, of satellite navigation and systematic oceanic surveys. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, research vessels armed with sophisticated sonar and global positioning systems ventured into the Coral Sea. Among their many tasks, some were inevitably drawn to the coordinates of the long-charted Sandy Island. One can envision the scene. Scientists and crew, charts laid out, anticipating the first glimpse of this elusive landmass. They were not searching for a mythical Atlantis, but for a documented feature, a small, unassuming island that should, by all accounts, be there, patiently awaiting their arrival. The instruments hummed, the GPS locked onto the precise location. But, as these modern expeditions reached the designated spot, latitude 19.22 degrees south, longitude 159.93 degrees east, they were met not with sandy shores, or rustling palms, but with the unbroken expanse of the deep blue ocean. The depth sounders registered over 1,400 meters of water beneath their keels. There was no land, no reef, no sign that an island had ever graced this particular patch of the sea. Can you imagine how confusing this must have been? Where charts had for generations shown solid ground, there was only the swell of the Pacific, indifferent to the phantom it had supposedly hosted. The island, a fixture of maritime lore and geographical record, had simply vanished, or more accurately, had perhaps never been there at all. The explanations offered are varied, each attempting to unravel this peculiar maritime mystery. Some suggest a simple cartographic error, a misplaced decimal point, or a line drawn amiss, perpetuated through generations of map copying, a scribe's slip immortalized. Others posit the theory of a phantom island, perhaps born from the misidentification of a vast pumice raft, a floating mass of volcanic rock that can travel thousands of miles across the ocean, mimicking land before eventually dispersing. Could early mariners have mistaken this transient phenomenon for a permanent feature? Or was it, as some more conspiratorial minds might suggest, a deliberate inclusion, a trap street for maps designed to catch plagiarists? Whatever its origin, the story of Sandy Island serves as a fascinating reminder of the evolving nature of our understanding of the planet. In an age where we believe every inch of the globe is mapped and accounted for, such anomalies challenge our assumptions. It highlights the immense difficulty faced by early explorers in charting these remote waters, relying on rudimentary tools and fleeting observations. The ocean, vast and deep, still guards its secrets well, and sometimes, those secrets include islands that exist only in the lines drawn by human hands, phantoms on the parchment, and now, ghosts in the digital databases of our modern world. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Ned, and I'm a science storyteller, and this is The Curious Current, where we do deep dives into all the mystery that the ocean has to offer. If you liked this video, please consider liking it, subscribing, and leaving a comment to let me know what you'd like to learn about next. There's so much left to learn, and we're just scratching the surface. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay current.